Welcome back to the Curiosity Cave. This is Scott here. Stuke's Baseball Cards and Curiosities. It's that time of the year again. Time for the NCAA tournament. And for the first time since 2000, my North Dakota State Bison have made it into the dance. They won the Summit League basketball tournament and finished the regular season now with a 27-7 record. The bad news is they play number 3 Michigan State, which will be a tough game. They've been to the tournament or qualified for the tournament 6 times now. They did pull an upset, and I'll go over that in a few minutes. And they do have 2 wins in their short Division I tenure. Let's start off with the first NCAA championship game that I ever went to. It's at the Metrodome, 1992. This was a championship game ticket that I used to get into the game. And how I got the ticket. My younger brother, he's the one that passed away in 2006. But in 92, we were walking around outside the Metrodome looking for tickets for the game. And my brother, who was 6'5", about 300 pounds, was walking around with 2 fingers in the air. And some guy come up to him and said, "Are you a scalper?" And he said, "How can I be a scalper? I'm from North Dakota." But anyway, eventually we wound up with championship game tickets. They're nosebleeds, but it's a good price. And the game wasn't so good. It was Duke versus the Michigan Fab Five, and Duke with Grant Hill, Christian Leitner, Bobby Hurley took care of the Fab Five with Chris Webber, Jalen Rose, and the other 3 Fab Fives. And the title has been vacated since because of Chris Webber's ineligibility. But it was a great time. Spent some great time with my little brother, and some good memories. He was kind of my sports buddy. If we wanted to go to basketball, hockey, football, baseball, we'd find a way to get tickets and we'd go have a good time. So in 2003, North Dakota State moved from Division II in all sports to Division I. And I bought that hat in 2003 after hearing the news. Went to meet and greet with the new football coach. Craig Bull was there. He was a former defensive coordinator for Nebraska, and everybody had high hopes. And meeting Craig Bull, he sure was a easy person to talk to. I think I have a signed poster somewhere of his. But for basketball, I was expecting maybe we'd get to the tournament every 15 years or so. But North Dakota State, for the 2004-05 season, had their own Fab Five freshmen. 4 of them made it to their senior year, which was 2008 and 9. But here's, I have a signed ball, and that's from the very first Division I basketball team. If you look up here, see the coaches. Saul Phillips was an assistant. Dave Richmond was an assistant. And Tim Miles was the head coach. And the reason I have that ball, my mom was gifted that at one of the season ticket events. My mom and dad went to a lot of those because they lived closer to Fargo than I do. It's 4-hour one way for me. But the first NCAA tournament that these guys went to in 08-09 was played at the Metrodome. And of course, they go up against Kansas. And the great thing was I got to go to the game. It was a fairly close game. They only lost by 10 to one of the top-rated teams in the country, and it was a great time sitting around it between games and at halftime talking to fans from other teams. West Virginia was also there, and it was just a good time, good feeling. And then Saul Phillips was the coach at the time, and he was replacing Tim Miles, who had gone to bigger, better things in Nebraska as being their head coach. So in 2013 and 14, they finished 26-7 as they did in 08 and 09, and Saul Phillips was still the coach. And this was the upset win for North Dakota State. They defeated Oklahoma and went on to the second round. And there they did lose to San Diego State, but it was a fun team to follow. And after that tournament run, Saul Phillips left for Ohio University in the MAC. Shout out to Mac Wax Pax, BK over there. He's a big Mac fan. And he was there for a few years. But the following year was the third NDSU, second in a row tournament for them. And they finished 23-10, and Dave Richmond became the head coach that year. And they lost the first round to Gonzaga, however you pronounce it. And they had a center, Sabonis, and North Dakota State had a 6'6" center that battled him pretty good. But they ended up losing that 86-76. That was pretty good game for them. It was fun watching our 6'6" center go up against Gonzaga. And then it wasn't until 2018-19 when they made the tournament again, and they got a play-in game that year, so they had a chance for another win. They beat North Carolina Central, and that was for the rights to play against Duke. And Duke had Zion Williamson, R.J. Barrett, and Trey Jones, and a few other 5-star guys. And the game wasn't really ever in doubt, but it was kind of fun watching them play against Duke in an NCAA tournament game. And then in 2019-20, they qualified, but there was no tournament. And finally, they got back in it this year, winning the Summit League tournament. And they got a tall mountain to climb with Michigan State, the legendary Tom Izzo. But I'm looking forward to watching that game. I hope all your schools that are in the tournament, best of luck to everybody else. And I do have my NDSU game day. We posted them twice for football game day. I'll be wearing that Thursday, rooting for the Bison. And thank you everybody for watching, and I hope that you have fun watching the NCAA tournament this weekend. Thank you.